The courtroom was packed long before the hearing began, with reporters, attorneys, and curious spectators filling every seat. At the defense table, I sat quietly in a county-issued jumpsuit, while whispers spread throughout the gallery. To everyone watching, I looked like another defendant facing serious charges. No one knew I had walked into that courtroom with a very different mission. Across the courtroom stood Captain Richard Hayes, looking completely confident as he prepared to testify. He believed his version of events would end the case before the afternoon was over. The jury watched closely as he confidently took the witness stand. He had no idea every word was about to be carefully examined. Captain Hayes described the investigation with absolute certainty, insisting every procedure had been followed correctly. His answers came quickly, as though he had rehearsed them many times before. Several members of the gallery nodded while listening. I remained completely silent. My attorney asked only a few brief questions before returning to his seat. The quiet cross-examination confused nearly everyone inside the courtroom. Captain Hayes smiled, believing the case was already over. The real evidence had not been introduced yet. The judge asked whether either side wished to present additional evidence. For a brief moment, the courtroom became completely silent. My attorney stood slowly and handed a sealed evidence folder to the court clerk. I followed the envelope. Inside the folder were official records, timestamp reports, and legally obtained investigative documents. The judge carefully reviewed each page before looking back toward Captain Hayes. His expression slowly changed from curiosity to concern. The atmosphere inside the courtroom shifted immediately. The judge asked Captain Hayes several follow-up questions based on the newly presented records. His confident answers suddenly became shorter and less certain. Members of the jury exchanged curious glances. The courtroom could sense the direction of the hearing changing. My attorney then requested permission to reveal additional information regarding my identity. The judge granted the request without hesitation. The entire courtroom leaned forward, waiting for the explanation. Even Captain Hayes looked puzzled. I quietly stood and presented my official federal credentials to the judge. The courtroom fell completely silent as the documents were examined. Several spectators gasped in surprise. Captain Hayes' expression changed instantly. The judge confirmed my identity as an FBI special agent assigned to a lawful federal investigation. He reminded everyone that the courtroom would rely only on verified evidence and sworn testimony. Captain Hayes remained completely silent as the significance of the moment became clear. The hearing was only beginning, and the truth would now guide every next step. The courtroom remained silent as the judge carefully reviewed the federal identification. Every document matched the official court records without question. Captain Hayes slowly realized his hearing had taken a direction he never expected. The confidence he carried into court was quickly fading. The defense introduced additional investigative records collected through authorized federal procedures. Each document was carefully authenticated before being shown to the court. The jury examined every page with complete attention. The atmosphere became increasingly serious. The judge asked Captain Hayes to clarify several statements made during his testimony. His earlier certainty slowly disappeared as the questions became more detailed. He paused before answering more than once. The courtroom noticed every hesitation. The court carefully compared sworn testimony with the official investigative records. Several details required further explanation before the hearing could continue. No conclusions were rushed. Every fact was examined methodically. After reviewing the evidence presented so far, the judge ordered that the investigation continue under proper legal procedures. He reminded everyone that the court's responsibility was to determine facts through evidence alone. The courtroom listened in complete silence. Professionalism guided every step of the hearing. Court officers collected the evidence for official review before the next stage of proceedings. Every exhibit was carefully documented according to courtroom procedure. Nothing was overlooked. The process continued exactly as the law required. Outside the courtroom, reporters gathered as news of the hearing spread through the courthouse. Attorneys declined to discuss details while the legal process remained ongoing. Speculation filled the hallway. Inside, the court stayed focused on verified facts. Later that afternoon, Maya changed into her professional FBI business attire. She quietly thanked the legal team for their careful preparation. The investigation still had important work ahead. Patience remained her greatest strength. The case continued through the appropriate legal channels, with careful review of all available evidence. Every witness would have an opportunity to be heard under oath. The legal process moved forward one step at a time. Fairness remained the court's highest priority. As Maya walked down the courthouse steps, she reflected on the importance of integrity and accountability. Justice is strongest when every decision is based on evidence instead of assumptions. The investigation would continue wherever the facts led, and that commitment would always be her greatest responsibility.